Hey there, Cosmic Warriors, and welcome to this live session. Hello, everyone. So, just to say, if you're new here, my name is Hannah, and I'm a Western Practical Astrologer, and I'm here today to read some charts. So, exciting stuff. Thank you for being here. And yes, Chelsea, welcome. Welcome to Feliz and the Sea. Welcome to Jason. Oh, you say Aries. Well, Lunar Aries unite. Yes, come on, Aries moons. Woo! Hi, baby dolphin as well. And yes, Chelsea, you said that you have booked a reading. Brilliant. So let me just get your information. Chelsea, can you please? Of course, if you would rather, you can always email me, but just let me know your date of birth, your time of birth, your place of birth. I need all the details so that we can get your reading started. I need to enter it in. And thank you so much for booking. Hello, everyone. Everyone's coming in. Everyone's joining. Let's hope the internet gods bless us today. Please. I restarted my internet before I jumped on, okay? But yes, so to book a reading with me today, it is $25 for 10 minutes, or it's $20 to ask a question. And what I do then is I pull up your chart and I read it live, real time. And like I said, with you, Chelsea, okay, thank you so much. So 7th of September, is that? And that's in California? Okay. Lovely. I'm just going to enter your information. Also have, is it Belsi? Belsi, is that how you pronounce your name? We also have Belsi coming in there to also book a reading. Thank you so much. I do sort of prefer to get everybody in at the beginning, and then we can really properly start, but we'll give it a little bit of time and see who else wants to book today. I was really, really blown away by the turnout last Tuesday. That was a Mars day. And of course, with Mars being in Capricorn back then, well, it still is in Capricorn now, but it was interesting to see the response. That was a 4-hour session. Good fun. Okay, so Chelsea, I'm just entering your information. Let me just check here with you, Belsie. Let me just check on my end. A moment, please. Bear with me. Okay, that's okay. No problem. Okay, so Chelsea. Oh, brilliant. Everyone's coming in, and the limit, we're doing 10, okay? So I'm going to be doing 10 readings, and after 10, I will update the title to say that we're fully booked today. But thank you so much for booking. I see you. So 7. Is everyone today? Are you doing good? How are you feeling about, well, Aquarius season starts tomorrow. Oh, Pluto enters Aquarius tomorrow, everyone. How are we feeling about this big shift? Sun and Pluto in Capricorn, 29 degrees, going into, so moving then into Aquarius at 1 degree. Any Aquarians out there? Anyone with major Aquarius placements? California. Just double check all the info. Oh, got another one. Thank you so much. So far we have Chelsea, we have Belsie, we have J. Paul. Thank you so much. We have Tanasha. Thank you so much. And with my, I always say this, but I really never mean to mispronounce names. But Parag, Parag, but yeah, thank you so much. So okay, brilliant. Okay. Okay, for Mark. Okay, got it. And if you have not already put your time of birth, date of birth, all that good stuff, in the payment itself, when I get to your reading, hopefully you're here, okay, because I'll need that information, okay? If you haven't inserted it. Okay. Parash. Okay. Good, I'm glad. Let me see. Okay. I need to retrieve this information for those of you who have booked. Okay, so I have Chelsea. Let's try and attempt to get everybody in then. Okay, so I have all the information I need. Things are done correctly. Just the house cleaning stuff, right? Okay. My Virgo energy needs to organize this, needs to make sure we're all good. So, Mark, please, I'm going to need your time of birth. Go over this side. Okay. Okay, Mark. Thank you. Oh, no, the payments, you need to do the payments via PayPal. Do not send payments on there. It's in the description. Okay, it's clearly put in the description. Yeah, Samantha, as I say, it's not on the super chat. The information is in the description, okay? Go to the description. Okay, so we've got Mark, we've got your information. And Belsie, I need to check on this side for yours. Thank you for being so patient with me, everyone. It's good to get everybody in, and then I'll get all your information, and then we can properly start, okay? Yes, definitely. Organization. As I say, the payments are done via PayPal. It's in the description. Okay. Chelsea, Belsey, Mark, Tanasha. The 2nd of December. Like, okay, for this instance, Samantha, I will do the reading, okay? But just nobody pay on the super chat. Please, please, please. The information is in the description. I don't want any more of those on the super chat. 2nd of December. Okay. Okay. And then we also have Madeline. Thank you so much. I've got yours. Yes, I've got yours. Paraj, I've got yours. I have yours successfully. Okay. Okay, and then Samantha, you're gonna have to also give me your birth information then, okay? Um so I need your time of birth, place of birth, day of birth, time, day, place, yeah. But like I said, nobody else use super chat. All the information that you need in order to book a reading today, go to the description box, okay? That's where you can find the information. Hello, hi. Okay, we've got so we have 7 people so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can accept 3 more. 3 more people for a reading today on this particular occasion. Thank you for booking. That's okay. That's okay. That's no problem. That's no problem. Samantha. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. With pronunciation, is it Gaeli? Is that how you pronounce your name? Or Gael? And Natalie, you just booked, okay? Lovely. And Samantha, are you still there? Oh, yeah, got it. Hi, hello, Hi. Hi, Kay. Monet. Hello. 14th of October. Then Samantha, is it 14th of October? So, in order to book a reading, you go to there is a PayPal link in the description. Okay, it's all set up via that. Pretty much all the instructions are in the description. Okay. So yes, Brooklyn. Samantha, can you let me know which part of Brooklyn? Honestly, when it comes to Brooklyn, I always notice that there's always different is it counties or areas within Brooklyn? I think. So let me know. But yes, so we have Chelsea, we've got Belsey, we've got Mark, we have Tanasha, we've got Paraj, we've got Madeline, Samantha, and then Natalie next after Samantha. So Gregory, is there Gregory here? So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I can accept. Well, Gregory, because is Gregory here? Do we have a Gregory in the audience? It's just if there is a Gregory here and you're trying to book a reading, just to remind you of the amount. So it's $25 for 10 minutes and then it's $20 for a question. Okay, but in the meantime, I'm going to enter in, Natalie, your information. Thank you so much. Okay, and your question. Okay, so I can accept one more reading, or one more, yeah. And whilst I'm waiting, I'm going to retrieve, Chelsea, your chart. I'm going to grab it here. Okay. Okay, Janelle, Janelle, are you booking then? And let me see, Samantha. Samantha, it's Kings. Okay, thank you. Yeah, there's so many different counties that come up. Brilliant. Okay, got it. Okay, so hi, hello, Beyond Imagination. Hello, Phil. Oh, Jason, that's good. Good, good, good. Thank you so much for being here. If you have not watched the Pluto and Aquarius video already, I definitely recommend it. Hi, Alexander. Hi, hi, hi. Hello, David. Hi. Yes, happy Friday. It's Venus Day today, everyone. The day of Venus, and we've got Venus in Sagittarius completing its transit there. Then Venus is going to enter Capricorn. Right, so I'm gonna get Chelsea your chart up. And then we have room. There's room for one more. We got room for one more. Gone once, gone twice, sold. I don't know. I'm just being silly. Okay, so you thought it was a Saturday. Saturday, 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 Saturday. Maddie, let me see here. Is Maddie short for Madeline? No. Hold on a second. We got Janelle. I have so there is a Madeline, but the information is different. So Maddie, who was born on the 16th of May, I don't have any payment from you. So, but I mean, if you, I don't have a payment from you. Let me, okay. Let me have a look through my information. Janelle, I've got yours. Got yours successfully. Thank you so much. Let me have a look. Let me do my checks. Okay. And I also want to say thank you so much to all of those of you who have been so amazingly patient. Yeah, Maddie board on the 16th of May. I don't have. Yes, got you. Got it. Got it for your friend. Got it. Got it. Got it. Yeah. Okay. So Madeline with the 16th of May information. For future. So pretty much we are. That's it. We're booked. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna edit the event. Need to edit the title. But there's always another time, right? I will come back on, I'm sure. But let's see. Information to book is in the description. Let's see. And let's see. So that's us. We've got 10 10, we've got Chelsea, we've got Belsie, we've got Mark, we have Tanasha, we have Paraj, we have Madeline, but of course it is for your friend. Okay. We have Samantha. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, actually I have room for one more. I've got room for one more. I must have miscounted. But we also have Janelle then as well. So Madeline, if you're still there and you're still interested, in order to get the reading, then the information is down below. The PayPal link is there. And then also, let me have a look. Just a lot of comments coming through. It's good to see though, because you clearly want a reading. Annette, is it Annette? If you are interested in, asking a question about your chart, there's one more slot available there. But in the meantime, I'm going to enter in, Janelle, your information. And if that's us today, then that's all good too. But yeah, so the 21st of February, 2003. Yeah, so there is room for one more. Though I have changed the title already, so I'm okay with that. So we're going to get started then, because we have everybody in. I have all of your information here. So yeah. So we're going to start off with Chelsea. And timer. I have the timer. And if you did miss out today, it's all good. Oh, we have one more. Okay, that's it. We're definitely done. Okay. We're done. Annette, you got in there. You got in there with the question. Okay. I will add you at the end there, Annette, and the 12th of December. Okay. Right. Yeah. Brilliant. Have everybody. Oh, actually, Annette, where were you born? I need to know your place of birth. That is very important for all the information. Place of birth for everybody else. Yes. I need to know, Annette, where were you born? Please and thank you. Need to know the location. Okay, so I'm going to get my timer ready for Chelsea. Chelsea, your chart's just sitting there. It's been sitting there for probably the past 10 minutes, Everyone's just reading your chart. Yeah. Oh, dear. Okay. Hello. Hi, Andre. Hi. From Portugal. Lovely. Love to be in Portugal. The nice weather. It's freezing here. Right. And thank you, Annette. Yes. It's a party. Lovely. Right. Okay. Let's do this then. Everybody's in. Okay. Fab. I've got the timer here. And we have your chart, Chelsea. Okay. So gonna start the timer now. Okay. So firstly, what is jumping out to me here, Chelsea, is the fact that you have so much mercurial energy. Okay. So you've got your sun in Virgo there. You also have Mercury there, home and exalted in the sign of Virgo. Plus, there is this moon in Gemini energy in Virgo. So, what I mean by mercurial energy would be, being really very fascinated by, facts and figures and details, analytics. I can see this as you, especially, studying a higher educational program that is related to the likes of analytics, or um, really having to figure out, what facts are correct and which facts are incorrect. Perhaps accounting is something that you've gravitated toward, or finance, or perhaps thinking about here um, a a role that's strongly linked to being of service in some way, shape, or form, or being someone who helps with filing and helps with documents. Now, with that in mind, Chiron is also there, and there is this square. It's actually quite a strong square between Chiron and the moon there. Both are at 0 degrees. So, this I think can actually indicate some challenges in terms of indecision, okay? Where it's like, well, I'm not actually too sure about my path or about my direction or about my meaning. And this could also suggest that you can sort of jump back and forth, and there can be this sort of muddled energy, right? I feel like all the Virgo energy is like, right, okay, I want to sort of uh, keep on track with things, and I want to be able to organize. But the Gemini part of it, I feel, can also indicate that there's some type of perhaps chaotic energy, or feeling a bit indecisive. And this, I feel, for you strongly shows up within work. The reason why I say this is because the sixth house is related to work. And with the Virgo energy combined with this, we are noticing these stronger themes. Um, so I think for you, perhaps what is quite beneficial or useful is finding a role or a job where you can satisfy that part of you, where you can multitask, or where you can switch things up, or where you can explore new sort of fresh environments. Have your moon in Gemini, it really does suggest that there is a real need for mental stimulation, and there's a need to want to just explore ideas and thoughts, and to bounce your many thoughts and opinions off others. I mean, socializing as well, I feel, is a big part of what you need when it comes to work too. But then the other thing about this, of course, is you have this Capricorn rising, right? And you also have Uranus and Neptune retrograde in Capricorn there in the first house. And then when we look to Saturn, okay, so Saturn would be the chart ruler, that is in Aquarius in the second house along with Pallas. Okay, so this to me suggests a strong indication that you are dedicated, that you can really discipline yourself. I think especially when it comes to matters related to finance, related to your physical security. Now, with that being said, we're also noticing delays, right? With Capricorn energy, there is the climb, if you will, right? I'm deciding that I want to make something of my life. I want to make something of myself, basically, and I want to focus on my purpose. And perhaps that purpose, so to speak, it's quite unexpected or unpredictable, right? There's Uranus there, or maybe things can be quite nonsensical at times, or perhaps there can even be many dreams that you have and visions that you have, okay, because Neptune's there. But there's also the delays and the setbacks that come with Capricorn. And these delays and these setbacks especially show up within the ways in which you earn money, the ways in which you provide for yourself. Now, I do also want to mention, with Pallas being in Aquarius, this actually indicates strong creative intelligence in terms of, okay, um, you're going to experiment, you're going to be very creative. You're going to want to sort of visualize and focus on, okay, these are the big goals that I have, and I'm willing to work hard or dedicate myself. But as I say, there can be delays, but there's also maturity and growth that come with Saturn. And to be Saturn ruled, I suppose, with that Capricorn rising, to me, it suggests that your life path is very much about, okay, what is it that I want to achieve in life, or what is the next goal for me? Okay, it's going to be a long road ahead, but I'm going to keep going. And as I say, that this stuff that I'm talking about, it strongly shows up within your ability to earn money, to provide for yourself. Now, the other thing I want to further mention is how, so you actually have Jupiter and Mars both in Libra there in the 10th house. So this is actually going to give us more information about purpose and your professional life. Of course, the 10th house is traditionally ruled by Capricorn. Mars, I feel, can be really wonderful here because of the fact that it's in the 10th. Now, Mars is in detriment whenever it's in Libra. So this to me suggests that there can be a bit of a back and forth, this not too sure energy when it comes to what it is that you want to pursue. Maybe this can also suggest that where you would really excel in, okay, the areas that you would excel in would be the likes of business, the likes of really partnerships. So like being that sort of business-minded individual who can make sure that certain leaders or managers, they're signing certain documents, or that they're making decisions. I feel like with the Mars and Libra energy, there can be this push more toward other people and their ability to motivate themselves. You could very well be a leader within what you do, right? We even notice how the secondary progressed sun is there in Libra as well, perhaps adding to this. But of course, it's also about balance. It's also about trying to make sure that everybody's on the same page, or, acting as perhaps a mediator. I mean, Jupiter can look at our gifts and our talents. So to have Jupiter in Libra there, it can very well suggest that, where you really do well is being that mediator, is being that person who can kind of see, oh, well, what is it that you want from a certain employee or from someone that you're working with, and then kind of going back and forth and negotiating. And then I also think as well that what is important to you is having some sort of balance and harmony in your life, where it isn't so overwhelming. Maybe that is important to you. And what I also want to mention too is the fact that you have Venus in Leo. Now, that Venus in Leo is creating a sextile to this Jupiter Mars energy. So I think that this can suggest the likelihood of your purpose also being tied to investigation, research, or tied to matters related to like performance or entertainment, or just being more of an authority. Okay, this authority, but feeling confident in what you do as well. I think this can of course be an area of struggle for you too, or maybe having to dive deeper into your own sort of unconscious and how you can transform, etc. But that that part of you that wants to shine and wants to be respected for your leadership, that part of you that's like dignified and proud of your capabilities and proud of your talents and your gifts and everything, that's there. And I just feel like it has required a great deal of effort for you to push these qualities out and express them. And you know what? Perhaps you have, right? You have indeed worked on certain unconscious drives or motivations that can sometimes hold you back in a way or feel limited. But then again, we also notice that Venus is creating a square to the midheaven, and you've also got the secondary progressed Mercury and Mars there, right there with the midheaven. So I feel as if where you've really evolved and grown as an individual is from putting yourself more out there within groups, right? Within teams and being determined, right? This is where we've really noticed your transformations over the years. Okay, Chelsea, let me just come out of this and stop. So that was the timer. Go here. Okay. Are we good for internet? Are we good for the internet? Oh, thank you so much, Chelsea. Thank you. And I also just want to mention with this, okay, these readings are 10 minutes, right? They're 10 minutes, they're quick readings. I'm obviously not going into great detail when it comes to these readings. This is just really about, okay, what is jumping out at me, being really quick and like, okay, what is it that we can look at here? How can I best serve you today? So if you are interested in booking a bigger sort of more in-depth thorough reading, you can always visit my website, hannahselsewhere.com. Right, let's do this. Belsie, let's do it. Thank you so much, Chelsea. Thank you. Okay, just checking. Okay, Belsie. Oh. Thank you, Jason. Don't speak too soon. Okay. Sharing my screen with the world. So here we go. Belsie. Okay, I have the timer for yours. Okay, Belsie. Okay, this is certainly one that is standing out to me because you have this Virgo rising, all right? And also you have Mercury retrograde, Black Moon Lilith, as well as the North Node. In Virgo, you're actually experiencing your Lilith return, right? Because Lilith is currently in the sky. So what I'm really getting from this is, oh my goodness, like this to me is like the Virgo energy really wanting to come through and communicate, okay, this is how I want to organize my life, or this is what I feel really called to do or drawn toward. I feel like this can indicate the social skills, the real social skills when it comes to Virgo energy, and being just so well spoken. But at the same time, this can also actually suggest, because the thing is Black Monolith is there and then also the North Node. I think this can actually suggest feelings of rejection or feeling sort of outcasted or sort of pushed out for the ways in which you present yourself. And I'm going to be honest here. This energy is quite intense. Like this can be quite an intense energy, where it sort of feels like you've felt a lot of pressure, right? A lot of pressure to show up in a way where people listen to you or people want to engage with you. This is what I'm getting from this, because the North Node, it can look at, okay, this is sort of more about you recognizing where it is, where you felt sort of cast out, if you will, because of that Black Moon Lilith energy. But of course, perhaps you have, really worked on yourself, or you've done, a lot of like inner discovery, self-discovery in this way. But this, I feel, is where we got to look at the South Node, okay? Because the South Node is in Pisces and it's in the 7th house. So there is that South Node energy, and maybe it can suggest some sort of idealism, right? So being super idealistic when it comes to other people, or do you know what? Merging. Oh, this is what I'm getting from this. It's like merging so much with the ideals of other people and what they project onto you, or feeling like you have to be so in it with other people emotionally, and there's a lack of separation there. But the thing is, I think there's just something about independence that's jumping out at me. Independence, standing up for yourself as well, right? Advocating for yourself, especially advocating for the things that you really, really want to say. Because to me, it just seems like perhaps, especially in the past, there was so much of this like, oh, I'm not listening to you, or feeling, like you were unheard. So I think, especially if we're to consider how the secondary progressed sun is also in the mix, right? So there's the secondary progressed sun along with Lilith in the North Node. This is like confidence. This what I'm getting. Confidence. This is about self-assurance. This is about being able to say, no, this is me. And perhaps you've been on this sort of spiritual journey, if you will, when it comes to expressing yourself, right? And and being respected as well, and not letting people walk over you. The other thing I want to say with this is so Mars is in Scorpio too. And at the same time, the moon is in Aries. Saturn is also in Aries. So there's this 8th house energy along with the Mars and Scorpio energy. Now, firstly, what I want to say with this is your Saturn return is going to come up in a few years. And this Saturn return, of course, Saturn is also retrograde. So this Saturn retrograde energy, along with the moon, I feel is so much about you discovering your inner leader, your inner warrior, okay? Like I said, there's so much here about you advocating for yourself. In fact, the North Node, along with Chiron, are currently transiting your 8th house right now, Belsi. So I just feel like, I'm just going to go there. I feel as if there's been trigger after trigger, right? Certain things have just really gotten to you in such an intense emotional way. And we further recognize this with your Mars, the ruler of Aries, being there in Scorpio. And maybe a lot of this has to do with your own mental well-being. Maybe a lot of this has to do with communication again here. So this, I feel like this is a real internal like journey here, where this is about you re-emerging as like this, I suppose, like a whole new being when it comes to communication and using your voice. And the other thing I want to say is your emotions, they're intense. Like you feel so deeply with that moon in the 8th house energy. But there can also be something here about the blocking of certain emotions too with Saturn, right? Sort of repressing or denying, or kind of wanting to hide things, right? Hiding away. So again, I think the North Node and Chiron have been perhaps quite triggering, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Maybe there have been certain emotions where it's like, no, like I need to process this, I need to feel this, and just getting them out. But I feel as if at the same time, this stuff that I talk about is going to become more and more apparent to you the more that you sort of approach that Saturn return in the next couple of years. And then the other thing I want to say, of course, is your sun is in Leo, right? So that sun sign energy, the sun is so much about our vitality. Vitality, it's so much about purpose. It's so much about, whenever we follow the sun, it's like, I feel good, I feel like I'm in my power. So, you know what? This could actually suggest that you do generally like to spend a great deal of time alone, maybe drawing, painting, doing something creative, something for you. And this can also suggest that you genuinely enjoy solitude. You genuinely enjoy escaping via entertainment, via art. And maybe you can also be quite the dreamer when it comes to romance and love and everything as well. Um, but here's the thing. This is what I think about this. I think the sun being here also indicates, okay, you have all of this stuff that you're perhaps used to away from the public. How about you step into the public and you showcase your gifts in a way? And the thing about it, of course, is Venus. Venus is in the second house, right? Chiron is also there at the very end, but I feel like that Venus in Aquarius energy, or in Libra, sorry, Venus is home there in Libra in the second house. And I just feel like this speaks to your beauty and the ways in which you are artistic and creative. It seems so beautiful and pleasing. And I think as well, this can suggest you making money from your art. Or this could also suggest that, you are quite balanced when it comes to your finances and your earnings, and that's what you sort of prefer to do. It can actually suggest that your gifts are also related to being quite social or diplomatic, or being quite fair as well. And, maybe it is that as you have grown over the years and everything, you have been much more aligned with these qualities about yourself. But of course, Chiron being there, it can also suggest this type of wound, or fearing rejection, right? Fearing rejection, maybe because in the past, certain relationships haven't worked out so well, or there's a difficulty in maybe relating to certain people because of a past wound. But the thing is that Chiron is also known as that wounded healer, right? Chiron is also full of wisdom and teaches us so many remarkable lessons. And so maybe there's something here about, of course, with the South Node as well, transiting your second house. There's something here about you really like going, I don't want to people please. I don't want to just hide away. I think this also is related to the sun energy, right? Because Chiron is making that sextile to the sun. So I feel as if the next few months is going to be, and even over the past few months as well, things have started to um basically what I'm getting from this is you can't just hide away. It's like there is something about a new you emerging, a new version of yourself emerging, and that version of yourself is able to be somewhat assertive or direct, or is able to stand up for yourself and not really give into the sort of pandering to other people, this type of stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm going to say for you today, Belsie. Thank you so much. I hope I hope that was somewhat helpful for you. So come here. Stop sharing. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me see here. Is the time wrong? Oh, is it? 2 seconds. Sorry, Belsie. Hold on a second. I can do it again. It's okay. It was my fault. Let me go up. There's a lot of comments. 9:35 a.m. Okay. There I was going on. There I was. Oh, 9:35. Okay. Let me see. Let me go. Okay. Let me see. Da-da-da-da. Belsey, you in the form you did put 8:31 a.m. I I will do it again. I will do it again, but just in the future, like make sure you're entering it correctly, okay? Okay, please. Yeah. So it's just to check. It's 9:35 a.m. for you, Belsey. I'll change it. I will do it again on this instance, but please just in the future in the future make sure you send me the right information. Kind of important. It's kind of important. But you know what? It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, you put 8:31. That's all right. Well, we will go. So 9:35. Make sure, please, everyone, that your information is correct, please. And I also want to say here, I also want to say, Maddie, thank you so much. Thank you. It's like, Hannah, the time's wrong. Ah. Thank you. Hi, Kina. Welcome. Okay. Yes, fully booked today. So, right. Let's go, Belsey. No. 9:35. Right. Ooh, let's see how this changes things for you. Let's see. Right. Let's do this. Set a timer. Okay, so for you, Belsey, right, things have certainly changed. Right. So what we see here is that you have this Libra rising, and then you also have Venus along with this Libra rising, conjunct the rising, and Venus is home in Libra. Okay, this to me is like attractive energy. And yes, it can be where, you are very attractive. The way that you dress is perhaps very beautiful. You have great style. And also, you can be very attractive in the ways in which you can communicate so well with people or come across as quite pleasant to be around and social. And you are very fair in your views as well. I see this as you having this sort of outlook toward life where it's like there's two sides to every story, okay? It's not just one way. And I think that you're someone as well who considers the gray, right? So if you can kind of see that things are maybe going too far to one side or the other side, where there can be extremes, it's like, okay, let's try and balance this out, or let's try and explore other opportunities or possibilities here and not jump to conclusions. That could be a thing with you, trying not to jump to conclusions or make assumptions. This can also suggest that you're someone who is rather relationship orientated, right? This, of course, there are still challenges with this because Chiron is also there in Libra. And this can indicate some type of wound to do with relationships, especially when it comes to your appearance, right? I mean, this could be here, Belsey, where you may struggle with your appearance or just the way that you see yourself. There's something quite complex there. And maybe a great deal of this Chiron wound is to do with you accepting yourself or being kinder to yourself, or showcasing more love and acceptance toward yourself as well. Now, we also notice that there's some oppositions happening, right? So you've got this Moon Saturn retrograde energy in Aries in the 7th house. So the Saturn, especially here to me, is indicating that it can suggest getting into partnerships, relationships a bit later on in life, or it could be where what you are working on, and this may become more and more evident as your Saturn return approaches in the next few years, but what you're working on is your self-doubt, right? Your self-doubt, especially when it comes to sharing private information, when it comes to connection, okay? There could be some even difficulties with your individuality or your independence, like how it is that you perhaps take the lead within relationships, for instance, or how it is that you advocate for yourself within relationships, or putting yourself first, right? The thing is, the North Node has been transiting your 7th house and will continue to do so until the end of the year. And then at the same time, the South Node is transiting that 1st house. So these activation points for you, I think, are really pointing toward balance, pointing toward the sort of back and forth between you and others. Now, when the South Node first entered Libra, this was July 2023, it would have entered and activated that Chiron energy for you. So maybe around July, like summertime, basically, that could have been quite an eye-opening, confronting time where it's like, why am I holding myself back? What is it about this situation that keeps, getting to me when it comes to relationships? Why do I see myself in this way? I'm sick of feeling like this. So I think what has really been triggered for you is, okay, I don't want to just be I don't want to be a result of my own past all the time, this kind of stuff. And it's more about like, I want to move forward with my life. I want to be able to um, be active in the ways in which I approach my relationships. I want to be more of a leader in this way. I want to be a pioneer in this way. And I think that I think with Saturn, with the moon there's a great deal of self-control, I think there is a great deal of commitment as well. And this can actually suggest, of course, with Saturn being there, it can suggest that you're really, where you can excel is business, right? Business partnerships, making deals, collaborating, reaching agreements. This type of stuff is where you may truly like showcase your ambitious energy, right? Being a leader, and even looking at how your goals could very well be related to these areas. And I also want to mention with this that I think with Mars being in the 2nd house in Scorpio, this can indicate that um, you are a leader when it comes to the money that you earn. This can suggest, being rather independent or wanting to be your own boss, for example. This can also suggest that what is really required of you when it comes to earning money is a lot of research, a lot of having to kind of dig deep, and maybe as well experiencing these intense sort of fluctuations, these highs and these lows, these rise and these falls, when it comes to your finances as well. But that Mars in Scorpio energy, like Mars is home in Scorpio, and it says, okay, this is the next challenge. This is how I'm going to overcome this challenge. Even the secondary regress Venus is there in Scorpio, certainly adding to your value and your worth in this way, and those transformations that you've went through and that you will continue to go through there. But I also want to mention is that your sun is in the 11th house in Leo. So the sun being in the 11th can indicate that where you really shine is within a group scenario, right? So within teamwork, networking, thinking about how it is that you show up within your community, but doing so in this passionate, lively way. I mean, you have so much of this, like a fire, right? You have the sun in Leo, and then you also have the moon in Aries. So this to me suggests that you can indeed be this authority or this leader within teams. And you may be that one who's motivating people, encouraging people, cheering them on. But at the same time, you have a lot of this Virgo energy, right? And that's going on in the 12th house. So deeper stuff, thinking about more psychological stuff, unconscious stuff. Okay, this can indicate that maybe what you can struggle with a bit is like overthinking, overanalyzing things, reading too much, right, into things, and then maybe worrying as well. Stress and worry may really just be overwhelming, especially whenever you're trying to rest, trying to relax. And perhaps the North Node being here in Virgo sort of indicates, okay, how can you maybe get into more of a routine or a pattern or a habit where it is about greater balance with respect to rest versus work, for example. I mean, the South Node is in Pisces in the 6th, and Pisces in the 6th can suggest like a lack of boundaries, right? Not very many boundaries when it comes to your routines and your habits. And so there could also be like this merging or maybe going above and beyond for certain coworkers, and a lot of sacrifices that can be made there. Of course, this is not necessarily like a bad thing, right? I mean, this can also indicate that part of your skills and gifts is that of like, there's so much compassion there. Maybe the work that you do, the services you provide really do require you to be compassionate and require you to listen to other people's sort of feelings in this way, or to be concerned about like the wellness, the well-being of other people. Maybe something strongly health related here. But the North Node in Virgo here is also saying, okay, how about you also consider how it is that you're looking after your own sort of mental health, especially behind the scenes. And maybe this is quite a challenging thing for you to do. Of course, Black Moon Lilith is also there along with Mercury. And so there can be these thoughts that can be quite defeating. But again, I think that with, of course, Virgo energy, it can indicate improvement. It can indicate health, right? Being able to work through anything that is complicated in this way. And this is not a black and white thing, I just want to say. I mean, I'm not here saying that what I'm talking about is straightforward or it's it's so matter, because it can sound matter of fact, right? Of course, when it comes to health, mental well-being especially, it's a process. So what the point I'm trying to make here, Belsi, is that I think that you're someone who you have worked through a lot of those psychological concerns throughout your life. Okay, are we good? The time is okay. Okay, Belsi, that was you. Okay. Okay, so we're moving on to Mark. Thank you so much, Belsi. Oh, good. I'm glad that things we're good for you. So moving on to Mark. And that's 8:45 p.m. That's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it. You did let me know as well at the beginning. Oh, did I not? I didn't edit it. Ah, right, okay. I'm doing that now. Oh, it's a Oh, okay. Yeah, it is. It's there for some people. But thank you for letting me know, Natalie, because if it wasn't, it's good to know. Um, Alexander, so just to say, it's no longer happening. It's no longer happening. Um, yeah, plans have changed. Plans have changed. Okay. It's so good. Okay, so let's get yours, Mark. We're fully booked today. Fully booked. But thank you so much for expressing your interest. Right. So we have here Mark. Is Mark here? If not, it is okay um because you can always catch up after. But I'm just double checking the information. 2nd of March 2001. So, okay, brilliant. Okay, so we're going to set the timer then for you, Mark. So, like I said, with these readings, they're 10 minutes, they're quick. It's about what's drawing me in, what do I see. And if you would like more thorough, in detail readings, you can always go to hannahselsewhere.com. And I don't know why my text, it seems to be like, yeah. Yeah, so I don't know why it's doing that, but okay, let's do this, Mark. Okay. So for you, Mark, all right, so we've got another Libra rising here. And then Venus for you is in Aries, and it's right opposite there for you. Right. So I think what this can often suggest is that often it's through your relationships that you realize just how assertive you can be or how you can initiate. I think you can do so well when it comes to relating with other people, and when it comes to the likes of business, teamwork, collaborations. Venus in the 7th, of course, Venus in a way, like it's home, if you will, in a traditional sense. So with Venus being in the 7th house, I think it can indicate that you can really come across as likable, social, quite friendly, but in this Aries way, where there's a lot of passion in how you're coming across. And you might be known as someone who, you motivate your friends, for example, or you motivate your partner, for example. And there's a lot of energy. This is what I'm getting. There's so much energy. But of course, with the opposition to that Libra rising, there can also be some possible like friction here or tension, or there can be challenges here. So, for instance, this could look like you wanting to more so think about what you want to do, but then sort of weighing that out against or considering other people, right? Other people and their sort of views. And maybe a lot of these themes have been coming up for you with the South Node transiting your first and then the North Node transiting your seventh as well. But what I actually find super interesting about Libra right now, especially for people who have Libra risings, because of the fact that, this North Node energy is transiting the seventh and there's eclipses as well happening in this Aries Libra axis, a lot of Libra risings are actually getting to the point where they're moving away from, okay, I'm not going to be so much of a people pleaser, if you will, or I'm realizing where I can go above and beyond or bend myself backwards for other people. I think that there is more of this independence, like a greater push for independence right now for many Libra risings with this North Node transit in the seventh. But then for you, Mark, specifically, like these themes are very strong for you because if you look here, there's the secondary progressed moon and sun as well. So I think this really looks to you being able to make your own decisions. You more so confidently doing when it comes to your wants, especially wants regarding relationships and partnerships. Of course, Juno is also there, and Juno is this asteroid to do with marriage and commitment. And the other thing about it, just to further add to this, is Juno is it's making a sextile to Jupiter, and then also this sextile to Neptune. And you have all this Aquarius energy in the 5th house there of romance and love and dating and everything. Oh my gosh, this further just adds to free thinking. Okay. This adds to you wanting to make up your own mind. I feel like for you, there's so much about not wanting to be sort of bossed around, right? But the thing that I further want to add to this is there is this opposition happening between the Sagittarius energy and the Gemini energy. So you've got the moon in Gemini, you even have Mars there in Sagittarius, along with Pluto there. So we're actually noticing some sort of like power struggles when it comes to you versus other people. I think a lot of this even shows up, especially when it comes to beliefs, right? People's religious beliefs, people's philosophical beliefs. And this can actually suggest this argumentative energy, right? Mars, especially being in Sagittarius there. There just seems to be some tension and friction and this opposing force. But with oppositions, right? When it comes to oppositions, of course, it's useful to be able to harmonize and to be able to kind of reflect and think where are things out of balance. And maybe that is something you value because you do have a Libra rising, right? And that Libra rising kind of wants to know, where can I find the balance? How can things be a little bit more harmonious for me? So maybe this could look like you just needing to have like proper discussions that come from a place of real depth and truth, and maybe also having to really reflect on your own sort of words or how you can be quite quick. It's like that Mars and Sagittarius energy, especially being in the 3rd house of communication, it can suggest just being very, very blunt and outspoken, if you will. Mix that in with the moon in Gemini. It's like, I'm going to share everything that I feel, etc. So I just think, especially what's coming up for you right now with all the Aries energy, it's saying, yes, okay, we get that you're valuing your independence, but this is also about being able to listen, being able to see where other people are coming from a bit as well. And of course, you do have that Libra rising, and you can be quite good at that. But I just think there's so much going the other way for you right now with all the Aries. Okay, so it's how you sort of try to bring it back to more of a healthy sense of give and take, right? Now, you also have your Sun in Pisces, right? And it's in the sixth house. And then you also have this moon in Gemini. So there seems, well, they're actually quite close in their square, right? There's a square between the sun and the moon. So there actually seems to be here something about this conflict that I think can often go on, between your head and your heart, right? Between your thoughts and your feelings. Maybe that sun and Pisces energy is very like soft and tender, and you're very sensitive, right? You're very sensitive to other people's sort of views or their feedback or what they perceive you to be, or maybe even quite frustrated by anything that seems out of place, when it comes to coworkers or work. You could very well have so much like compassion and empathy and love toward people who are suffering, or thinking even about the likes of food and diet and pets as well that are located within the sixth house. It's like you can show so much remorse and kindness in this way. But I think what this can also suggest is going back to so there's there is that T square going on between Sagittarius, Gemini, and Pisces. What this can also suggest is debates, this thing of, oh, I need to insist on my view on this. I feel so passionately about this, and I just want to let them know, So I think the Pisces energy is sort of acting as a bit of a mediator. Okay. What does this mean? A bit of reflection. A bit of reflection, and maybe being able to sort of regulate a bit, calm the nervous system a bit. And I do think this is something that will gradually sort of improve for you as time progresses. I mean, with Saturn being in Taurus, your Saturn return is not for a good while away, a good few years. But I think the Saturn and Taurus energy is indicating that something that you are maturing within, or something that you are coming to learn, is that of patience, is that of calm. Okay, being able to ground yourself. And it may not feel like that for you. It may not. I mean, because Saturn is also making this square to Uranus and Mercury, right? That buzzing energy. This one I'm getting from this, it's like this buzzing energy, and it's just rampant like thoughts and ideas and bursts of sporadic ideas and breaking things apart. And just having little sort of, I would say, and I say this with kindness, I always say things with kindness, but it can suggest difficulties in just self-control, right? Having a bit of like self-control, or trying to get to a point of just breathe, just breathe. So I think that as I say, with the Saturn return happening within the next few years for you, things could very well just calm down a bit. And maybe it is that as well, you can be quite different or unique or non-conforming or non-traditional when it comes to the likes of love or relationships, this type of stuff. So of course with that, it's just, what I'm getting is just so many opinions, about this way and that way, and that's the right way, and da da da. So yeah, I think the Taurus energy, it's going to usher in more of an anchoring. Okay, calm a little bit here. Oh, but yeah. But anyway, so that was the 10 minutes. I could have went on for longer. I really could have. I could have. But hey, it's 10 minutes. Thank you so much, Mark, and I hope you benefited from it, and I hope you find it to be useful. Okay, so let me find. All right. So next we have Tanisha. Tanasha. Sorry, Tanasha. Tanasha. Okay. Checking everything for you, Tanasha. Brilliant. Um, of course, Mark. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you. Thank you. I hope that you find it. I hope that you find it to be useful. Right. I'm gonna bring up your chart, Tanasha, and then I need to do something really quickly, but I'll be back in 2 seconds. Just bear with me. It's quite cold here, you see, so I want to try and warm up a little bit. So, okay. So, Tanasha, and we are starting now. Right. So, what is jumping out at me first and foremost here, Tanasha, is the fact that you have so much Capricorn energy, right? So, you've got this stellium in the second house, and then you have so much of this Cancerian energy happening in the eighth house opposite. So, let's kind of consider the eighth house and what the eighth house in the second house and what this axis typically like represents. So the way I sort of see the second house is I see it as being representative of our self-worth and value. But then also the eighth house and their opposite can look at our unconscious drives and motivations and any sort of unresolved trauma or emotional complexes there as well. So thinking about those psychological things. But the second house can also look to our materials, our finances, how we earn money. And then that eighth house energy can look at combined resources and combined finances there, taxes, debts, this type of stuff. So there seems to be a lot happening here within these areas of life for you. But with Capricorn energy, Capricorn looks at time, like things need to take time. And there is a steady, slow movement when it comes to Capricorn. So for you, I see this as you experiencing setbacks and delays when it came to your financial position, or maybe having to really grow up fast. That's a possibility when it came to your financial position, or having to really think about, okay, how can I manage my finances well? How can I provide for myself? How can I take care of myself? Maybe even looking at like a lot of responsibility being placed on you from a really young age, which of course isn't like, I'm not saying that that is a bad thing in this way. I mean, perhaps such things have really taught you a great deal about dedication and discipline and being self-sufficient. These things that you perhaps really strongly value about yourself, within yourself there. But I think if we were to consider how the second house is also tied to self-worth, like I said, I think the thing about this to be cautious of is a lot, sort of seeing the material results, if you will, or looking at work and success, this type of stuff, as being a part of your self-worth, and maybe trying to have more of a separation there. um and the thing about this further is there are these oppositions, like I said. So for example, Saturn is opposing uh, Chiron, and then Jupiter is also opposing Neptune, and then Ceres is opposing Uranus. So to me, what this appears as if is you doing a lot of self-exploration, diving more into your emotions and your feelings, and looking at, okay, what is it about my meaning here? Because there can be some difficulties with meaning and direction, and those feelings of worthiness, to be honest with you, right? These feelings of worthiness, and how you nurture yourself. I mean, this could be where there's just so much pressure, right? Like a lot of pressure here. And perhaps you can become overwhelmed by that pressure. And it's like when you don't reach the mark, that the sort of the standard, the expectation, the bar that's been set up so high, then what you can perhaps do is like punish yourself, right? You can take things out on yourself, and it's like, oh well, I should have done this and I should have done that. I should have been more mature within that situation. Why didn't I have greater self-control? But you see, perhaps there is something to really explore here about your emotions, right? Maybe related to the past, right? Thinking about how you were nurtured, thinking about family, any sort of family concerns or difficulties there, maybe. But yeah, just I think what this is really pointing toward is your healing and your emotional growth, especially with Jupiter there. And there's a lot of wisdom in that growth, and perhaps you have indeed went through these experiences, of course, because you've went through your first Saturn return. That was a few years ago there, Tanasha. But here's the other thing. You have this Sagittarius rising, you have the Sun in Sagittarius, you have Mercury in Sagittarius. I mean, silver lining energy, right? Silver lining energy. This is the type of energy that says, right, okay, I get that there's a lot that, perhaps is happening emotionally, especially with the Scorpio energy going on there. You've got Pluto and Mars, both home in Scorpio. Black Moon Lilith is there as well in the 12th house. The 12th house really looks at the type of person we are behind the scenes, when we're locked away, when we're in solitude, when we're doing a lot of reflection, etc. And maybe for you, a lot of things have come up to do with your fears, to do with possible traumas and unresolved things like this. Okay. But the point being, the Sagittarius energy is still able to go, what can I learn from that? What can I learn from that? What can I learn about the past? What can I learn from, these emotional difficulties that I've went through, or these limitations when it comes to my physical security and how I provide, and the pressures and everything else? Like, the success, the pressures of success, or what can I learn from these situations, and how can I do better? How can I improve? Sagittarius is so much of, let me say this, Sagittarius is the sign that it's like reaching new heights, right? Sagittarius goes, right, okay, this is something that I've went through, but this is what I'm going to learn from it. This is the experience I'm going to take away from it. And this is the knowledge and this is the wisdom that I'm going to pull from even my hardships, right? Jupiter, for example, right? Jupiter is the chart ruler. Jupiter is in Cancer, and it's there, right there with Chiron. And so, and the opposition to Saturn, right? That opposition. So it's saying here, what can I learn from the past? How can I not repeat similar relationship patterns, family patterns, emotional patterns? How can I break the cycle? And what's the positives, right? Sagittarius as well is also able to go, well, what's the positives that I can pull from this? And the other thing about it is being able to pass on your knowledge with other people, being able to even treat people in a way where it's like, oh, well, I learned this about myself, and I can now take this information, right? Mercury as well, and I can communicate with people in a way where I inspire them, I uplift them, right? Reaching new heights, like I said, with Sagittarius. Sagittarius can be so much about improvement. And Mercury is, of course, related to how we communicate. That's why I'm talking about, passing on information, communication. And I also see this as you always keeping in mind the bigger picture, right? It's like whatever you go through in life, you're always able to kind of go, well, what's the bigger sort of theme here? And how does all of it sort of fit together and piece together in a way? And I also want to say, with the sun being in the first house, this to me suggests that, well, especially in Sagittarius, it suggests that you're so big on freedom, right? Freedom, independence, exploration. Perhaps you have went on many sort of journeys and travels, and you love to be out there exploring. But I think the big main thing for you with Jupiter in the 8th house in Cancer, it's like, okay, exploring more so those emotional themes, exploring more so how you can nurture yourself and look after yourself. I mean, Ceres, right? Ceres is so much about nurturance there and being able to nurture ourselves and care for ourselves. So Ceres is there also in Cancer, and Cancer is the sign that is related to being a nurturer and caretaking. But then even throw into the mix this Mars energy, right? So you have Mars and Pluto in Scorpio, like I said. To me, what this suggests is that you're so like eager, so immensely eager to want to dive deeper into things, just like sink your teeth into them. It's like I want to know more and more and more, and I want to dig deeper and deeper and deeper. But then again, this can also suggest that so if we again go back to like the taxes and the debt stuff related to the 8th house, this can also suggest, that you have come up against certain, let me just finish. You have come up against certain debt-related concerns that perhaps you've had to address in a very like adult way, okay? Of course, the Capricorn energy opposite is also saying, oh, I'm Venus plus Venus, all right? Venus is tied to finances. It's saying, okay, how can I get through this in a really grounded, practical way? Yeah, I think there is a great deal of having to be practical and responsible when it comes to your materials and your resources and how you earn money. Okay, Tanasha. So come here and stop. Okay, so I hope you find that to be helpful, Tanasha. Thank you so much. I hope you did. Okay, Paraj, let's move on to you. Thank you for being here today, everyone. I hope you have enjoyed the session. Hope you've enjoyed it. Okay, awesome. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, so Paraj. Paraj, did you say that you sent a question? Oh, there it is. I see it. I see it. I see it. I see it. Okay. Uh-huh. Let me see here. I'm going to, so you said about that question, I'm going to try a certain technique to help me. Where, okay. Let's have a look. Thank you for your patience. Three. 9. And then I'll get one more. So just want to see with timing techniques for the question that you asked. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Sun, Mercury, Okay, so what I'm going to do for you, Paraj, is I'm going to show your chart. And then there will be other sort of timing techniques that I'm going to look up as well at the same time. So just to let you know that. Okay. Jupiter. Huh, that's interesting. Okay. Okay, so I'm just one more thing for you, Paraj. I'm currently just looking at the timing techniques so then I can help you with times. So, Midheaven, where are you? Midheaven 23. So, if I go to here, 23. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Okay, right. So I'm going to start the timer for you, Paraj. And let's go. Right. So you asked a question there, Paraj, about with jobs, work. Where do we want to look to? Okay. Firstly, what I find interesting about this is I looked up your solar return for this year. And in the solar return chart, so basically, a solar return looks at your year ahead. And in this particular chart for you, Venus is retrograde in the solar return chart in Leo. And I want you to, so in the chart that you see before you, you see you've got all the Cancer energy in the first house. So the first house looks at our appearance. It looks at our physical body. It looks at our identity, our aims, our goals. But the second house here, that is strongly related to money. It strongly shows up as our earnings. So, of course, you have this Leo energy in the second. You have Jupiter and the Sun there. And yes, this can suggest that what you really value is like financial freedom, or maybe being able to work for yourself. This can even suggest some form of self-employment throughout your life. This can also suggest that what you are rather gifted at or talented at is being a leader or being within a field that requires like creative skills. But you see, in the solar return chart that I just mentioned, you have Leo there with you've got the Venus retrograde in Leo, basically. And because Leo is in the second house for you, I think that this is indicating some delays here to do with finances, earnings, money, this type of stuff. But then the other thing about this is when we look to the secondary progressions, what's going to be coming up for you by April. So basically, Jupiter and Uranus, they're going to conjunct right on your secondary progress midheaven in Taurus. Plus, I want to say that because you're 56 years old, your ninth house is being activated for you for this year. So the ninth house activation, first and foremost, with your natal midheaven and Chiron already there, this can suggest some challenges. But we got to follow the path of Jupiter, the transit Jupiter. Jupiter is in Taurus right now. There was a retrograde there. So Jupiter was retrograde in Taurus for a good few months. And at the same time, in the solar return chart, you have Taurus in the sixth house with Jupiter and Uranus. So we're noticing then unexpected changes when it comes to work, right? And you were saying there about with losing your job in October in 2023, right? We're seeing these unexpected changes. But what we're also going to notice then over the upcoming months is that Jupiter is going to start to move and conjunct the midheaven for you, the second progress midheaven, and so is Uranus. So this can actually suggest something quite surprising or like an opportunity, right? Jupiter looks at opportunities and expansion. So opportunities to do with earnings. But here's the thing about it. The North Node is also there in the 11th house for you. And then, like I said, the secondary progress midheaven is there and it's in Taurus. So to me, it's like finding a job or more of a profession where it's more about, okay, I'm going to look at building security within communities, or I'm going to focus on property, or focus on finances or banking. These could be the sort of fields that you kind of lean toward. But there's a sense of teamwork and also joining a certain organization or a certain company, right? So the 11th house can look at organizations and teams in this way. So basically all of this is to say for you, Paraj, is that things could certainly turn in unexpected, surprising ways for you as we start to move forward here and coming up to April, right? So this conjunction is going to happen in April where Jupiter and Uranus are going to conjunct that midheaven for you. Now, there's other stuff that I want to talk about with this, of course, because you've got Saturn in the 10th house in Aries. You also have Lilith there, Black Moon Lilith. This is another interesting one because this to me suggests that when it comes to success, when it comes to, wanting to sort of follow a certain career path, for example, of course, success it's not just about career. I just want to make that clear. But yes, when it comes to these sort of areas, I think that this can suggest struggle, right? This can suggest like an uphill battle feeling, or feeling like you really need to work hard, or feeling like you need to really like dedicate yourself and discipline yourself. But this can also suggest delays, of course, delays, setbacks, limitations. And you will experience your first Saturn, or sorry, it's not going to be your first Saturn return. It's going to be your second Saturn return. So your second Saturn return is going to come up. And so I think that in particular, the second Saturn return in the next few years could really be like eye-opening for you. Or it could be where you're more willing to take on a new sort of career path, if you will, or you're willing to lead the way when it comes to business or management. And the thing about it as well is taking these skills, right? Taking what you've learned from the past previously, right? I just see a change of direction for you. But then at the same time with Black Moon Lilith being there, there's a lot of like working through your own sort of inner turmoil and specific fears as well. And what I also want to say with this in particular is you do have Mars in Scorpio, but of course, I want to kind of think more about the secondary progress Mars in conjunction with this, because that's in Sagittarius in the 6th house. And then there's that activation happening to Saturn. So yeah, I think this sort of says, okay, possibly trying something completely outside of your comfort zone. Possibly a role where there's travel involved. It's so much about travel and looking at trade, looking at importation there, and possibly teaching. You could even more follow the path of teaching or mentoring, and perhaps you already have those skills. You have the teaching skills. You have the knowledge. You know what you're talking about, right? You have the credentials. The reason why I'm saying that is because Jupiter, the ruler here of Sagittarius, it's in Leo. It's with the sun there as well. I mean, this just oozes like confidence. This uses I know what I'm talking about. This says I am self-assured. And I think as well, this can also indicate, you know, wanting to be like a mentor toward younger people, for instance. I mean, Mars, like I said, right? So the natal Mars is in Scorpio, and the fifth house can look at children. It can be more related to younger people. So we could see here upon the horizon, something related to coaching younger people or assisting younger people when it comes to something quite emotionally challenging, or having to really use skills of empathy, or possibly as well looking at this Neptune energy along with Vesta, and considering how you can perhaps merge with like a bigger cause, or wanting to really help through something charitable or hospitable. But a lot of this, I feel, it comes from past situations. It comes from your own sort of awareness of what you've worked on already, right? You're part of that Neptune in Scorpio generation. And a lot of the themes that came up there were to do with healing and having to address certain traumas, and so in this way it could very well be suggested that what you're sort of aligned with is that of wanting to um, be a supportive figure in this way for, like I said, for younger people. But you also, I want to combine that with all the Cancerian energy, right? Where you just give off this caring demeanor, right? With the Cancer rising and then the moon as well, and then Mercury. I just feel as if, Paraj, you've built so much like emotional awareness in terms of skills. You're having that skill set. And so you could very well use these skills that you already have and apply them to a new role. Okay, so that was for you, Paraj. Thank you so much. I hope you find it to be helpful. I know I was sort of jumping a bit. It's like I have 10 minutes. I have 10 minutes to explore the solar return. I have to look at all these different timing techniques. But I hope that you find it to be useful, all in all. All right, so we're moving on to Madeline. So Madeline's friend. Hey. Excuse me. Happy birthday to Madeline's friend. Because with Aquarius season being here and your birthday's on the 17th, it's going to be your birthday soon. Thank you thank you. Thanks for being here. Yes, we're fully booked today, but I'm sure I'll be back at some point. Hopefully we'll be back next week for another session. Oh, I enjoy doing these. I do. All right. So moving on to Madeline's friend. Okay. So what's jumping out at me here is the fact that, okay, so you have this Cancer rising. And so to have a Cancer rising, it can suggest that, okay, there's a great deal of protection, right? It's being able to protect oneself and sussing out environments, having this demeanor where it's like, okay, I want to sort of gradually get comfortable with people. I want to gradually get to know people. I'm not going to just open myself up too soon. And also looking at these fluctuations that you can go through, right? Being quite moody, and perhaps as well, even being overwhelmed by your emotions at times. But the thing about this is that you've got your moon in Pisces, and this moon in Pisces further adds to the Cancer energy. Moon is the chart ruler for you. So to have moon in Pisces, this is like the ocean of emotion, okay? This is like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling so much emotion at once and merging as well, especially with bigger visions, merging with certain beliefs, dissolving the ego at times, like just dissolving yourself, dissolving your identity to sort of merge with bigger concepts and ideas. The reason why I'm saying this is because there's the ninth house activation, right? So you have this Pisces stellium in the ninth house, and the ninth house looks at our beliefs, right? Beliefs when it comes to religion, when it comes to philosophy. For you, especially, this is like spirituality. This is about aligning with your spiritual beliefs. Maybe you're someone who you really like to practice yoga, meditation, or you, whatever it is that you do spiritually, basically, it's like you have this need, right? This need to engage in these things, to practice these things. And there's also a love, right? You've got Venus as well in Pisces. There's a love for things that are quite moving and spiritual and healing. Travel is a big thing here, right? The ninth house looks at travel. My goodness, this to me is like the ultimate escapist, so to speak, where you escape through travel, okay? Escaping through travel, wanting to explore so many different parts of the world, but this is about, oh my gosh, I'm so connected to this place and feeling certain spiritual connections with people, and the people that you meet basically when you're on your travels. This can even suggest that you have that you've relocated, right? You've moved entirely different countries, right? From one country to another, right? That could be a possibility with this. Or perhaps it's that you're so interested in like learning about other cultures and other ways of life. You see Mercury here, right? So Mercury is about communication and curiosity and thinking about studying and reading and learning. Okay. And the other thing with this is the ninth house can look at higher education, right? Um, but maybe for you, it can suggest that what you've gravitated toward would be studies that involve photography, film, art, or something related to the medical industry. That could be a possibility. So thinking about working within hospitals, thinking about helping other people, assisting other people with their health in some way, shape, or form. So there is that. But I think at the same time, I think what's important to you is having a sense of like freedom and not feeling so confined. And this is the thing, is you have Jupiter. Jupiter would be the dispositor of all of your Pisces energy. And it's in Aries, right? It's in Aries. You actually would have went through a Jupiter return a couple years ago. But this Jupiter energy in Aries in the 10th says, I'm more about my own sort of self-exploration. This is leader, assertive energy. This is being quite skilled at a leader within a leadership role, even with Pallas being there. So Pallas is also in Aries, and Pallas can look at our creative intelligence. Pallas can also be quite strategic in its way of doing things. And so maybe for you, it's like, right, what's the strategy here? Like, what's the strategy when it comes to travel? And what's the strategy when it comes to my sort of freedom and my independence? How can I sort of think here about putting my needs putting my needs first when it comes to traveling, or when it comes to your beliefs even. And the other thing I want to say with this is, of course, your sun is in Aquarius, right? Your sun is in Aquarius, and that sun in Aquarius energy is so much about freedom of thought. But I think in this pretty intense way, because it's in the 8th house for you. But the sun in Aquarius also, I think, indicates that what you feel good about is knowing that you can sort of make your own way, right? Make your own decisions. And maybe as well with the sun making that sextile to Saturn, that can perhaps help a little bit with structure. Okay, maybe that, yeah, that can be quite anchoring, because this is the thing, it's like you have so much of this energy that indicates what I'm kind of viewing this as a sort of being sort of caught up in an ideal, right? In this ideal world. But Saturn here in this position says, okay, 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 I hear you. There's so many desires, there's so many aspirations, there's so many dreams. But Saturn says, you need a little bit of structure, okay? You need to be practical. Kind of need to be realistic here as well. And if you kind of want results, right? If you want certain results to do with leadership, or to do with things that you want to achieve in life, you got to keep at it. You got to keep sort of, right, one foot in front of the other. There is a great deal of discipline required here. Need to keep focused here. And the thing is that perhaps you've had parental figures or older people in your life who have really tried to assist you in this way, really trying to kind of help you be more structured. And maybe you value that, right? You value people who do sort of help you anchor yourself more. But I do see this as you having so many dreams and hopes and aspirations. And I also want to mention that you can be so friendly, right? With the sun in Aquarius, there is a friendliness, there's an openness, there's a willingness to want to like explore the occult and things that are more sort of esoteric there, with the sun being in the 8th house. And also Mars is in Scorpio in the 5th house. So the Mars energy in Scorpio, I think, shows that you have a lot of intensity when it comes to relationships, like love, and looking to romantic relationships specifically. There's intensity, there's intimacy there. I think that also it takes you a while to really sort of open up. And I think this is just so fascinating, because whilst you have so much Pisces energy that sort of says, oh, I'm wearing my heart on my sleeve and I feel it all, right? Especially with me, there's still something here about, I need to really trust you. I need to take my time with this to slowly open up. And we can even see this with the Aquarius energy. There can be the detachment with Aquarius, right? There can be some form of detachment. But I think this is also where the trust comes in, right? I think this is where you need that time and that space to open up to people, to be intimate with people, to to share like really, really private, personal, deep, deep information with other people. And with Black Moon Lilith being there, this is the thing is, well, it could suggest that you have actually experienced backlash, right? We're sort of getting into more heavier themes here, right? You've experienced some sort of backlash for being yourself or for expressing yourself or for, being more of an individual. So there could be a few emotionally complicated things there that you are also working through as well with Black Moon Lilith. Okay, Madeline. Well, Madeline's friend. I hope that you find it to be useful. Thank you so much for your patience, by the way, as well. Yeah. So, Samantha. Yeah, Samantha, you are next. We're moving on to yours. Thank you, everyone, for being here. So, Samantha, let me see. I just need to find you. So, is it a question you have for me, Samantha, please? Do you have a question? Maddie, of course, thank you so much. Thank you for booking today. Marina, so to book a reading, well, we're fully booked for today, just to say we are fully booked for today. But in the future, the way this works is you go to the description box and the information is all there. You just go to the PayPal link and then you send through the money for a reading. But yeah, Samantha, what is your question, please? Because that's what you've paid for. And we will answer your question today. Excuse me. Oh, good, Praj. Good. Good. I'm so glad. I'm glad. Yay. Good. I'm so glad to get your feedback. And I wish you all the best. So, Samantha, do you have a question? And Samantha, if you do want a 10-minute reading, it's still another $5, but you make sure to send it through the PayPal link for that. Yeah, it will. Paraj, yeah. The video is going to be still up. I keep all them up then. That's good. It's good to be able to refer back. Okay, if I'm not getting anything back from Samantha, I could do Natalie. I can do next. And then wait for Samantha to get back to me. I'll at least open up the information for you, Natalie, to get yours ready. So it'll be ready for after. Are you there, Samantha? Have you gone? I'm just going to get Natalie's. I'm going to get yours ready. Okay. USA. Okay. 22nd. Samantha, did you already send me a question, or I'm trying to see, even if I scroll back up, if there was a question with it. Let me see, just in case it's on my end. No, I don't have a question. Okay, so Natalie, you want to know about Pluto transiting your natal Neptune? Where are we? Okay, Neptune, yeah. Okay. I will grab your chart. And what I'll do is I will show, yeah, I'll get the progressions. And Samantha, I have your chart here ready for when you want to kind of know what you want to do. If you have a question, then. And then if you want me to do this 10 minutes, it'd be another $5 then for the 10 minutes. But let me know, are you there? What you want to do? Maybe Samantha left for a little bit. Okay, so Natalie. Samantha, if you're there, if you might not be there, but I will come back to you, okay? I will come back to you. So Natalie. Samantha, I see that you're here. So you go to send the other $5, you just go to the link in the description. Unless you have a question. If you have a specific question, just You just ask a question about your chart and then I can answer the question. Yes. Natalie, you're saying about with Pluto transiting your natal Neptune. Right. Samantha, I'm gonna look at Natalie's chart here, right? And then in the meantime, just send me a question. And then if the other alternative to this would be follow the description, right? The information in the description, and you just send $5 via that link, PayPal, and then that'll be you secure for a 10-minute reading. So just let me know. Right. So, Natalie. For you, Natalie, yes. So, Pluto, of course, is going to enter Aquarius here tomorrow. And this is going to be a part of a very long transit for 20 years. Of course, Pluto is going to dip back into Capricorn from September until November, just for a few weeks there. But essentially, what's coming up for you is these major breakthroughs, these major renewals, these major collapses, perhaps as well, when it comes to family, home, when it comes to your emotional needs, your emotional security. And what I want to say with this is Neptune, right? So Neptune dissolves. Neptune is the planet that merges. And Pluto is more of that planet that transforms. Pluto is more about these real push and like punch in the gut realizations. It's like you need to address this, you need to look at this. So what could very well happen is that there will be some type of renewal when it comes to merging or dissolving too heavily with regard to family or home, right? This could be where it's like waking up, so to speak, when it comes to certain boundaries or healthy limits. Or this could actually indicate a period of time where there's so much introspection on your end. Okay. Really going within and trying to like process what's been happening for you when it comes to family and home. And of course, you have the moon also there in the fourth house in Aquarius. So this to me already suggests that you're someone who is rather sensitive about family matters, and you can be rather emotional as well, about anything that's disruptive or chaotic when it comes to family matters. And the thing as well is Uranus is also in Aquarius there retrograde, and the south node is there too. And then the north node is in Leo. So I think there's a lot of like there's many lessons to do with you having to move more toward a healthier sense of identity, a healthier ego, and how that shows up then when it comes to your life path, when it comes to your purpose. Maybe this speaks a lot to self-worth, right? Because Venus is also there in Leo, and it's opposing the moon there in Aquarius. These oppositions, could very well suggest this sort of harsh tug of war, if you will. So this could look like you wanting to develop and establish a healthy ego related to your professional life, for instance. But maybe there's a big part of you that can feel like your your responsibilities or your care, let's say care in this, your care is really needed when it comes to looking after others. Of course, this is also about trying to harmonize with this energy, right? Trying to find some sort of equilibrium, trying to find a balance in it all. And that may be quite the challenge for you to do. And then the other thing about it is you've got this sun. So the sun is actually the dispositor of your Leo energy. That is in Virgo, right? And it's at 29 degrees, this anaretic degree, well, this critical degree. And I think that this really looks at, you it's almost like you've been there, you've done that when it comes to being of service, when it comes to helping other people, etc. But quite possibly there's something in this about you. What I'm kind of getting from this is you establishing yourself in terms of, okay, how can you grow when it comes to your individuality. And I think that this also speaks to what is happening right now for you, because Pluto and the sun, they're making a trine right now to your sun, right? So the sun and Pluto and Capricorn are making that trine to the sun in the 11th house. And I feel like this is this cracking of the ego experience for you. And maybe this is also something that you could kind of sense coming, right? And the reason why I say this is because Pluto was in Aquarius last year, from it was the end of March for a couple of months. And that experience then, that could also have been quite confronting and like profound in terms of, okay, I can see where my individuality is to sort of shine and be seen within grip situations, in front of other people in this way. And so we're coming back to this point, and I think that it's this energy that says, okay, time to show up, to express, right? To follow this path of, okay, I'm gonna trust in this next step. And I think Neptune, so Neptune coming into this, I think it's gonna say, oh, well, these are the things that you're going to be dissolving, especially when it comes to the ego. And the thing about it as well is all these planets are going to move into Aquarius whilst Pluto is there. So we've got, I think it's Mercury moves into Aquarius first, and then Mars, and then Venus, all throughout Aquarius season. So Aquarius season is going to be quite notable for you with the Neptune energy, because I think the combination of this, it's sort of saying, okay, there's going to be much dissolving when it comes to the ego, when it comes to your desires, when it comes to what you value, when it comes to how you assert yourself, when it comes to what you think. That I kind of think of this as, right, all of these planets are personal planets, right? The Mercury's the mind, right? Venus is how we share love, it's what we value, it's what we attract. Mars is how we assert ourselves. Mars is about our motivation and our drive and our will. The sun is also largely about our will. The sun is about how we feel good about ourselves, right? Aliveness, vitality. So Pluto mixed in with all of this, major renewals, major transformations. And then Neptune mixed in with it, it's also like, okay, but how can you also try to surrender? Surrender to the changes, surrender to these renewals. And what are all of these renewals to do with? The fourth house. Fourth house matters. So again, thinking about how you look after yourself, how you nurture yourself, your inner world, your deeper emotions, thinking about how it is that you support family members, thinking about being this caregiver, if you will, as well, thinking about home and where you live and where you feel safe and settled, etc. Yeah, there could be notable shifts coming up for you when it comes to these areas, Natalie. Okay. Okay, Samantha. Hello, hello, hello. Where are you, Samantha? Natalie, thank you so much. Let's see. I do not have time for another Morgan. I've got Samantha, Janelle, and Annette. That's the last few. You said you would like the chart reading. Okay, so Samantha, it's $25 for a 10-minute chart reading, and I have $20 from you. So what I could do is I could cut it shorter, right? I'll do seven minutes maybe. We could do that. Or if you have a question, you can ask a question. So the way this works, Jen, just for the future, there is the information in the description. You go to the PayPal link and you send through either $25 for a 10-minute reading or $20 for a question. And then I read the chart live here. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, so is that okay with you, Samantha? Just do a little bit shorter? Are you still there? Have you left again? Oh, right, I'll get your chart up anyway in the meantime. Oh, North Node in Aquarius. Yeah? You want to know about North Node in Aquarius? Is that right? I'm sorry that I missed that, Samantha. I'm sorry. There's just so many, so many. Let me go up. Let me find you. Samantha. Hello, divinely guided. Oh. Ah, North Node. What does it mean? Okay. I want to say thank you to Janelle. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Right. We're going to grab your chart, Samantha. Okay. Right. So you want to know about this North Node energy in Aquarius in the 8th house. And thank you, Alexander. Thank you for helping as well. Oh, everyone's so supportive. Thank you. All right. So we have your chart right here. Okay. So for you, Samantha, yeah, the North Node is in Aquarius and it is in the fifth house. So the fifth house in astrology is tied to things like our hobbies, our creativity, the things we enjoy. It's also related to pleasure and it's also related to romantic relationships and love as well. So, firstly, I want to think about the South Node in this. So, you have the South Node in Leo in the 11th house, but then the 11th house is more related to our hopes and wishes for the future. It's a house that shows up as group involvements and teams and friendships. So to have the South Node there in Leo, okay, it can suggest that there are these gifts and these talents that you have, right? When it comes to these areas. And you may be quite the life of the party, quite enjoyable to be around, quite playful, quite fun, and you can really like express yourself within a crowd in this way. Because the thing about this is Jupiter, right? So Jupiter is also there adding to this. It's adding optimism, it's adding joy and happiness and playfulness and even just sharing, right? Sharing, involving yourself, being a part of that collective experience. But then the North Node in Aquarius sort of says, okay, how about you also try to integrate greater qualities of, okay, this is something that you enjoy that's quite unique. It's something that's quite eccentric about you, like a certain hobby, for example, a certain passion of yours. And it's more so following those creative interests of yours. And like I say, with the creative interests, it could be that such things are related to science or research or astrology or something related to uh, like like more sci-fi related related themes or psychology as well could be what you're strongly interested in, so considering how the mind works and why people do the things that they do. Maybe you're someone who, you like to observe people. You can be quite interested in what other people are up to, and there's a great deal of like fascination there. Even combine that with so much of your Libra energy, right? So you have a Libra rising along with the Sun and Venus and Mercury. You've got this Libra stellium. And yeah, this to me then suggests that you are someone who's quite social and friendly, but then also you can come across as quite cooperative, right? And maybe as well, you tend to sort of see where things can be out of balance quite a bit, or where things need to be restored, where that balance, where that harmony needs to be restored. You could be quite good at like conflict resolution, for instance. But yeah, so with the North Node being in Aquarius, I think this kind of speaks to, okay, well, what are your passions? What are your interests? And maybe as well, it's it's having the guts, if you will, to try something that is quite different and outside of the box. It's not really about following the crowd so much or worrying so much about how you're perceived. It's more about, okay, this is something that I'm genuinely really interested in. Maybe if you think about this energy in combination with the Libra, so much of the Libra, like as Libra stellium can indicate that there can be a lot of the worrying about being liked or how you're seen, etc. So this North Node energy could perhaps speak to some of those particular challenges that you could very well come up against. Okay. So, oh, did you? Oh, that's okay. It's okay. I'll read on. Thank you so much, Samantha. I'm reading on for you, okay? So we'll keep going. Right. So, other things that are jumping out at me in your chart here, Samantha, is the fact that so your moon is in Virgo, right? And it's in the 12th house. And I think with this, it suggests that you prefer to sort of deal with your emotions on your own, right? I don't think, especially with Saturn as well, being in Capricorn, it's this whole thing. I don't really want to burden people with my feelings. I don't want to go up to people and start saying, this is what's going on with me, because maybe it can feel like at times like they want to maybe solve it for you or jump in with practical solutions and stuff like this. But maybe you kind of think to yourself, no, but I can handle this stuff on my own. There could be that happening. But you see, of course, with that, there's so much nuance to what I'm saying as well. And it really does depend on the context of the situation. But I do think that in this way, perhaps something that your Saturn energy in Capricorn is teaching you is that you don't actually have to go through things on your own. And there is also room for being able to share and express, especially difficult emotions, for instance. And I think your Saturn return, which was just a few years back, that your Saturn return could have really brought up a lot of this stuff to the surface. And at the same time, the nodes, so the South Node is now transiting that Libra energy for you. The North Node is transiting the 7th house. And then there's also these activations of Capricorn and Cancer. So I think that this is a period where it's like, right, yes, I understand that, you're concerned perhaps more about other people, right? Libra energy is more about the other. But how can you lean into a bit of, well, what is it that you want? Okay. What is it that you desire? And how can you be a bit more assertive about the things that you want within relationships, for instance? And perhaps you have been more leaning toward these qualities since the node sort of entered the 1st and 7th houses for you. And this was around summertime of 2023. But I think really with the South Node passing over all this Libra energy for you, it's such a good opportunity for you to do things that are outside of your comfort zone, right? To really like push yourself to push yourself into unknown territories, basically, and to surprise yourself by what really comes up. And maybe even that North Node in Aquarius energy further adds to this. And here's the thing about it too, is Pluto is going to enter Aquarius here and will eventually conjunct your North Node, right? So this could very well look like the revival, right? A revival of your differentness, your uniqueness, your quirky qualities, letting your freak flag fly, so to speak, especially when it comes to art and creativity, your individuality, etc. And this could even be where romantic matters really shift and change for you. I mean, Pluto will also start to make trines to all that Libra energy. So, yeah, I think right now what's happening for you and for the next year or so is, okay, pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, especially when it comes to relating. But then as Pluto starts to move closer to the 5th house energy, it's like taking that information or taking that, taking those lessons basically and those learnings and then seeing, oh, well, Actually, I'm a lot more confident in how it is that I express myself, for example. Even if those things may not align with how everybody else does it, or following the crowd, so to speak. And the last thing I'll say then for you, Samantha, is you do have your Mars in Gemini, and that is in the ninth house, and that is making a lovely trine to a lot of that Libra energy. Yeah, it's like you can be rather diplomatic and cooperative and negotiable. But I think the Mars and Gemini energy still suggests that you're willing to say the thing when you need to say the thing. You're right. And the thing about it as well, just to finish this off, is with all the secondary progress Scorpio energy, the sun, moon, Venus, the ascendant. Oh my gosh. I feel as if what this is indicating is like any sort of people pleasing tendencies, they're long gone. Or maybe there's still some things that you still recognize, certain patterns that can come up, unconscious drives perhaps. But yeah, the Scorpio energy says, I've come a long way, right? I've I've grown. I've showed determination in the face of fear, especially when it comes to your self-worth. Okay, so that was for you, Samantha. Thank you so much, by the way. Thank you for being so understanding earlier. Ah, but yes. So, Janelle, we're moving on to you. I'll be 2 minutes. I just have to go and turn off my heating. I'm all warm now, but I'll be 2 minutes, okay? Thank you. Okay. 11:35. Yes, so as I was saying there, I was trying to communicate as well with Samantha. Uh, yeah, oh, thank you, Annette, thank you. But yeah, so Samantha, just to say that if you go back a little bit, you'll be able to find your reading there. So I continued on. Okay, so okay, 11. Du-du-du-du. Janelle. Okay. Is audio? I adjusted the audio. Still no audio? No, yeah. That's okay. That's okay. Yep. All right. Okay, for you, Janelle, let's do this. Oh, great. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. And thank you, Janelle. All right, so Janelle, I'm going to set the timer then. Okay. Okay. So, what is jumping out at me for you, Janelle, is all of this water energy. Okay, so water looks at emotions in astrology. It's related to our innermost feelings. And you have a Scorpio rising, plus you have the moon in Scorpio, and you have the sun in Pisces. So, right off the bat, what we're noticing here is the intensity of your emotions, right? Even possibly here, Janelle, how you can go to extremes when it comes to your emotions, okay? There can be like this hot and cold energy with moon and Scorpio, but the thing is that what you share and how you open up to other people, it's so profound and it comes from a really, really deep place. You know, you may be the type of person who, whenever you really share how you're feeling, you can catch people off guard, or they can feel like really, wow, oh my gosh. I mean, with the Scorpio rising energy, you think about how the rising sign, it's so much about our life path and how things unfold. And so for you, you may have really seen and witnessed events that were quite like yeah, horrifying in a way, or you know, events that were like very emotionally overwhelming. And there's there's perhaps just so much that you've been through in this way, but there's also this likelihood of you being surrounded by super supportive, like super compassionate people, or finding people in your life who you feel that connection, that closeness with, right? And I think at the same time, with Saturn being in the eighth house, of course, the eighth house is traditionally ruled by Scorpio. Your Saturn return is not for a good while, right? But a square to your Saturn is going to come up. So over the next few years, I do think that this is looking at so much emotional growth on your end. I think especially regarding love and relationships. I think especially regarding how it is that you express yourself. With the Pisces energy, of course, Pisces can indicate that you can be so wise, right? Pisces are known for just being so wise, and there's so much like of this inner knowing when it comes to Pisces, this inner knowing of such and such is going to happen, or I feel like I'm being called to this, I feel like I'm being drawn to this. But Saturn, I feel, has been coming along, and of course, Saturn is making a conjunction to your Sun right now, and I think it's been helping you like create greater practicality, or to be somewhat more practical, or to be somewhat more structured, to be realistic about situations and matters. But we're going to see more of this unfold for you as time does go on, and maybe such growth will also be tied to this Saturn and Gemini stuff. So thinking about any mental blockages, thinking about any restrictions and limitations as well when it comes to siblings, cousins, when it comes to how you move within your local area. There could very well be some serious, heavy fears and setbacks that have happened for you when it comes to these very things. And as I say, I think Saturn being there plus the North Node being there is highlighting that as you do get older, and as you do start to really, really approach this Saturn return in the coming years, I think that you're going to transform, basically, right? You're going to go through these mental renewals, these sibling renewals. And the other thing about it is, at the same time, Venus and Chiron are in Capricorn in the third house. And the third house, of course, is traditionally ruled by Gemini. So there seems to be something here about siblings. And I always want to say these things, with great sensitivity and with great care and with great kindness. But Chiron there in this position, along with Venus, it can suggest some type of wound here, or a major sort of difficulty, or a major insecurity, possibly tied to siblings, okay? Tied to even how it is that you show up when it comes to your neighborhood, right? So this could be a certain neighborhood challenge, which or wound, which perhaps you are working through, or that you come to work through. This is quite a heavy energy, right? We consider how Capricorn's a part of this, Saturn's a part of this, Scorpio is also a part of this, these really deep and profound signs. And what I also want to mention is value and worth, self-worth tied to Venus. I think that as you do mature, of course, with Capricorn energy, it's also about maturity. It's also about more looking at later on in life. I think that this is about you really valuing what it is that you have to share in terms of learning, in terms of communication, and how that's even expressed or shown within relationships. We even notice here that the Black Moon Lilith is in Taurus there too, and it's in your 7th house of relationships. So it could be that there has been like a pushing out, if you will, right? Feeling like you are not a part of the collaboration, or a part of the team, so to speak. And if going through this process of, I feel alone, and I feel like I'm defeated. But with Black Moon Lilith, this is the thing, and Scorpio as well, I would say, partly, is there's so much about resilience, and there's so much about your personal power. And I think as well, it's about freedom and liberation. I just think that the further you go, right? The further you go along your sort of personal development journey, I just think you're going to get to a point where it's like, you think this, I don't care, and it's not necessarily about, you don't want to tar everybody with the same brush either, okay? But it's more about anything to do with disrespect. Going back to Capricorn, any sort of disrespectful behavior, I just think you're going to get to a point where there's so much progress on your end. And the other thing about it, of course, is Jupiter is making this opposition to the Aquarius energy. You've got Mercury and Neptune in Aquarius there. And then there's also the combination with Scorpio. So there's a T square happening. So the moon is a part of this, the ascendant is a part of this. So I want to kind of think firstly about the Aquarius energy and how this says, okay, I'm considering my independence and my freedom when it comes to my emotional security, when it comes to my emotional needs. But then Jupiter opposite can also, well, Jupiter is retrograde, so this can suggest that this is about you sort of creating your own opportunities, if you will, when it comes to your professional life, when it comes to your purpose. It's like going out and seeking out opportunities for growth when it comes to confidence, when it comes to self-assurance. Even the second retrograde moon is right there with Jupiter, which I find really fascinating. So it could be that you're actually going through this like confidence journey, if you will, right now in terms of discovering yourself and meaning and everything else. But then you throw the Scorpio energy into the mix, right? And I think it says whatever's going on, this back and forth between family stuff and putting yourself first, maybe when it comes to your direction, the Scorpio energy, it's still saying, well, whatever happens, I'm going to get through this. I can overcome this. I can overcome these challenges. I am strong. I have what it takes. I'm going to show determination. I'm going to be brave, right? I'm going to be brave here. So yeah, there just seems to be this fixed energy, right? This uncompromising energy going on between family related, home related matters versus this stuff to do with purpose, to do with your life path and creating your own sort of opportunities in the world. But as I say, the Scorpio energy, I feel it's going to assist a bit with, okay, time to really look within here. Time to really dive deep and consider what's coming up, what's coming up to the surface and may need to be released and brought out. Okay, Janelle, so that was yours. Thank you so much. Good, Samantha. I'm glad. Yay, you got it. You got it. We got there in the end, right? And Janelle, good. You said it was awesome. Okay, do you know what? I really hope that you benefited from it. Good. Awesome. Okay. Right. So lastly, we have Annette. I'm just going to pull up your information, Annette. And I'm going to have a look at these timing techniques for you. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you for your patience, right? Because it can take a while to kind of get to your reading. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for your time. It has been great. I've enjoyed this session tonight. Okay, I do. I really enjoy these. And 12th. Okay. have had quite a few Scorpio risings and also Libra risings today. Okay. And then you want to know, Annette, when will you get a job? Let's have a look. Let's see what's coming up for you. Let's pull. And then I'm gonna, let's see. Oh, interesting. Okay. I'm just grabbing my information. Tuesday 7. Yeah, that's okay. And then go back over here. Okay. So, Annette, Annette, we are going to then explore this question that you have about when will you get a job. So what I did is I looked up a few different timing techniques for you. So with you being now 57, with you now being 57, this means that your 10th house is being activated. So during 10th house activations, there is a big focus on vocation. Okay, there's a big focus on achievement, success. It's more about purpose in this way. So what we want to consider with this is the fact that Jupiter is retrograde in your 10th house, and the midheaven itself there is in Leo. So to me, this can suggest that this is about you exploring new sort of opportunities that lay ahead this year. And with you having all of the Sagittarius energy in the second house, right? So the dispositor then of the Sagittarius energy is Jupiter. And then you've also got Sagittarius in the second house. The second house looks at our earnings. It looks at how we make money, basically. So that in combination with this 10th house energy, I just feel it's like a seeking energy, right? There's something about seeking And there's also something here about using these skills and these achievements that you have acquired through the second house. So, what I mean by this is the second house can look at our gifts and our skills. And you having so much Sagittarius energy suggests to me that what you're really quite skilled at is that of, for example, teaching, lecturing, mentoring, publishing, right? Thinking about publications, writing as well, right? You've got Mercury there as well in the second house. So yeah, writing. Also thinking about uh, you being quite good at sort of passing on information. Like, for example, this could be working within a trade. A trade. So considering selling products, sales, marketing as well, and advertising as well could be another area. But basically all of this is to say is that you've acquired so much knowledge, right? There is, with Sagittarius, it takes it a step further than just learning information. It's actually about understanding the information that is being presented. So this, in combination with this 10th house activation, could very well invite new opportunities then, right? New opportunities for growth. But perhaps there is also a seeking quality to this. Like I'm saying, it's like going on more of a search, if you will, but finding something that speaks to your creativity. For instance, with Leo, right? You've got this Leo midheaven as well. Finding something that speaks to your creativity, finding something that actually speaks to something enjoyable, or something that speaks to your heart, really. But then what I also want to mention is I want to think about how Saturn is there in Pisces, and so is Chiron in the 5th house. And the thing about this is you're experiencing your second Saturn return. It's interesting, I think, because this is now, two people who've asked for more information about work and jobs, and this is the second Saturn return. And the second Saturn return can be quite a significant time, because I feel as if, for many people, it can look at a complete change when it comes to purpose, when it comes to career in this way. And so to have Saturn there in the 5th house, maybe this is related, well, in Pisces especially, maybe the stuff I talk about is related to creativity, or related to something quite artistic, right? Or thinking about photography, thinking about film. But essentially, I think this is about really growing past what you've already done, so to speak. And of course, there are these oppositions to the Pluto energy and Uranus as well in Virgo. So this could very well be quite the breaking free time, right? And even this in combination with Sagittarius, I feel like Sagittarius, as this sort of mediator point, it is kind of saying, believe in yourself here, right? Self-belief, having this willingness, this courage to want to try something perhaps really very new. And then I kind of I want to sort of build more on the 10th house activation. Because what's important to do for unit throughout the year is to consider where the sun is, so to sort of follow the sun along its path, because that's going to give you more information about this 10th house arena. And this is interesting. The sun, of course, is going to enter Pisces at the beginning of Pisces season, and eventually throughout Pisces season, the sun will start to conjunct Saturn for you. And this Pisces Saturn energy in the 5th. So I wonder, that could very well look like an activation point, right? To do with this vocation area, right? You think about Saturn, it's also tied to vocation, and even the oppositions to Virgo. Virgo is also tied to service and work. So to me, what this is sort of ushering in is reaching more out to your communities, okay? Being a part of a certain bigger cause, right? Thinking about working within a health related area, for instance, or, possibly deciding to volunteer, right? You could take on a voluntary position, and then that within itself could open you up to something really very, very new and unexpected, right? There's always the unexpected when it comes to Uranus with that opposition. So, as I say, this could be an activation point for you throughout Pisces season. It's interesting, especially when you combine that with the fact that you are also experiencing your second Saturn return plus the 10th house activation. Just a lot of it is kind of going back to your vocation. Okay, so that was for you, Annette. Oh, interesting. So you said, let me see. IT project manager. Yeah, it's, to me, the Leo energy, it's more about gravitating towards something that really does speak to your heart, speaks to more enjoyment in a way, right? Getting more from what you do and feeling inspired, right? Feeling inspired and all that Sagittarius energy. My gosh, I feel like for you, you do need something that brings you to life in that way, that lights you up in that way. Okay. So, okay, everyone, that is us. That's all of the readings. Now, I just want to be clear on this that these have been quicker readings, right? It's been more about, okay, this is jumping out of me, this is jumping out of me, and going over things. But there is so much more to explore, isn't there? There's always so much more to talk about. And you can always book a longer reading with me, a more in-depth or reading with me via my website, hannahselsewhere.com. But it has been a pleasure. It has been great today. Thank you for all of your patience with me today. And thank you so much for contributing, for booking. Jason. Oh, bye, Jason. Have a great day as well. Yes, enjoy the rest of your week. I'm going to be back on Sunday. We're going to be talking about the full moon in Leo. And Alexander, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for contributing today. But I'm going to get going. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you, Janelle. And it was great to do readings for you today. Thank you so much for booking. Hope you benefited from them. I will see you on Sunday if you're here. Hope to see you then. Bye, everyone.